Hiring managers, are cover letters currently a waste of time? I know we have all been taught that we should submit a tailored cover to most positions, but I am wondering how most hiring managers treat them in our current economic environment. A friend that works in HR has mentioned that applications have been up by 300% or more right now and hiring managers are completely swamped. Do you read the cover letters? Toss them? Just a quick glance? What positions are you hiring for that you prefer to get a cover letter? Just trying to make the best use of application time for us all who are still looking. I used to work for a recruiting company. Cover letters help when there's something you need to explain or give background info that the employer can't see just from your resume. For example, a career change, long gaps, etc. I've never needed one for the jobs I've been hired for. Wow, I never really thought about it that way, which is surprising for me in a bad way. Like I've been applying and sending cover letters not knowing the true purpose of a cover letter. I just explained in my cover letter what makes me suitable for the job and why. I mean, I guess I probably do explain from the resume but not exactly directly in mind, if that makes sense. I normally do this, but here why I want to do X. I just talked to a hiring manager who complained that people don't explain why they want to move from one thing to another. That's a great time to write a cover letter. Personally, if I know something about the company or it is people, I will always write that up in a cover letter as well. Thanks. How's like working for a recruitment company? From my understanding, most people avoid it as the get a percentage if they help you find a job. If someone submitted a cover letter to one of the jobs I've listed this fall, then I would have read it. However, it would need to say something not generic and not just repeat the resume for it to actually do any good. I don't need the whole thing custom beyond addressing it to me with the company name and position. I just want to get an idea of who you are and how well you communicate what you think your strong points are. That said, I've gotten 0 cover letters out of 200 some applicants, but about half of the folks I interviewed sent follow-up thank you emails after the interview. We hired one gal who sent one, my other hire didn't send any. Though he did send in a nice email with the requested writing samples explaining the context of the sample and why he thought they were some of his best work. That explanation contributed to other observations my team and I made later during the process, and those qualities were a big reason we went with him. So I guess my one guy accidentally submitted a mid-process cover letter, by my definition. This might be off topic, but I manage a retail store and do all the hiring. I had an applicant submit a resume and cover letter. His cover letter explained how he'd be a great asset to the company because he could create amazing rides and attractions through the power of his imagination. I sold men's grooming products at the time. He concluded the letter by saying how it has always been his dream to work for Disney. Make sure you attach the correct cover letter. Did he get the job? I've done this. LOL. I've also had many people apply like this on the other end. I would totally go to a retail store that also had rides and attractions. I encountered one online job application that asked me, after I didn't upload one, if I was /sure I didn't want to include a cover letter. It highlighted the upload field and asked me in red text. I went ahead and made a cover letter and included it. I felt if the application wanted me to, I might as well. I'm curious too. My last job I secured with no cover letter, it was awesome. Helping my wife now, what a pain cover letters are. I can see them being useful at executive levels, or if the job involves writing, but anything else is a waste of time. I think it depends on your job title. If you're an analyst, it might be a good idea to expand on what you did as an analyst, but if you're a role that already has a very straightforward title, you probably don't even need one. I applied for a general manager position at my local Burger King because it is 2020 and it just wouldn't be right for a guy with a master's degree to make above $14.00 an hour, which is really what they paid. I submitted a cover letter outlining how horrible the local Burger King is. I just eviscerated Burger King in that cover letter. It all went in to explain why hiring me was a good decision, but I mean just absolute evisceration. I didn't really want to work for Burger King and it felt kind of good, to be honest. They called me in for an interview last week. I declined. Because I get a lot of equally qualified candidates who are just out of university, the quality of writing in the cover letter usually becomes the major point of distinction between candidates. The quality of writing in a cover letter will cause me to consider one candidate over another, similarly qualified candidate. Because writing skills and attention to detail are particularly important in my field, I read the cover letters first, checking for grammatical correctness, formatting, etc. I've come across a surprising amount of grammatical errors in cover letters and it is a huge red flag against a candidate. Edit, 2 words, edit 2 to add. If a cover letter was requested and not provided, I will mark the application as incomplete and likely will not review it. The ability to follow simple instructions is also important in my field. Sounds like filling instructions, attention to detail, and writing skills is important in the job they are hiring for, so no, not leaving good candidates in the reject pile. What field are you in that writing skills are particularly important? I would presume that writing skill is generally important. Terrible hiring strategy. I can't imagine how many good candidates you are missing with this process. Nope, Not at all. I don't want to get stupid unnecessary details in cover letter like PLS hire me, I like what you're offering. Make a really short letter explaining why I should invite you to interview. If you say something along the lines of I read about your company and this position, and I've been doing exactly the same thing for X years, and I'm really good at it. Here's some numbers. I've increased metric 1 by 30%, I've decreased metric 2 by 15%, I managed to do XY numbers of times and it gave me Z result. That one will hit the spot. Aren't these numbers just bullshit anyway? Right here is a thing I have been struggling with back when I cared about what jobs I was applying for. I've worked in food service for years and I am fighting tooth and nail to get out of it and actually use my degrees. I am not usually a server, I'm the glorified golden retriever that helps your server get you smooth service, ergo I do not have direct numbers, sales numbers. All I can really say is that I help contribute to X amount of sales every day. So would it be better to just emphasize soft skills in this case? Efficiency, timing, etc. Would it be any worth if I am trying to transition careers? It depends on the industry. In tech, it's pretty rare to even ask for one in the job ad. However, of the cover letters that I've seen, they were mostly generic and didn't add much to the resume. Usually something along the lines of seeking exciting opportunities, and as you can see from my experience, it matches what you are looking for and can provide value to the team. And most often didn't even bother to change things around to match the job description's title. Are cover letters a waste of time? No, I don't think so. I think they're useful when there are unusual situations that aren't clear from the resume. Examples *Q explain the large gaps in employment because you took time off to do volunteer work. Or went back to school to get your master's or some other degree. * Your previous experience doesn't match the job description because you're changing careers. * You're in another state but are planning to relocate, and getting a head start in the job hunting. If they request one, then yes. If they say optional, then it's encouraged. If there's no mention of it, then probably good chance they won't even look at it. However, I do know that some companies use computer programs to scan for keywords as a means of sifting through resumes and applications, so you can use that cover letter for that purpose. Keywords are what you may see in the job description, and responsibilities or also known as knowledge, skill, abilities KSA. So probably good to make one. The worst thing is they just don't look at it. But can't see how a cover letter could automatically disqualify you. I have been a him for years. I have never seen a cover letter. Yet, I believe in cover letter as that is an easy way to catch the recruiter's eye. Keep it simple, bullets with what they are asking for and how you have the experience or equivalent experience. As a him, I see the shortlisted candidates in an app. If I ask clarifying questions to the recruiter, they refer to the cover letter or call the candidate. LOL, I've never written one, and never will. They all say the same bullshit. Please give me this job because I'm so amazing and have a million years of experience working in an industry. I feel like the majority of them basically regurgitate the same thing, which is why I choose not to write them. When I interviewed for the job I took 1.5 years ago, the hiring manager brought in a printed copy of the cover letter I had submitted. She had highlighted portions that caught her eye in relation to a particular niche within the role. Less than a year into the job, I became the point of contact for that niche. All of this, and I thought they were just going to skim/ignore the cover letter I almost didn't include. That is why I'll take the extra time to submit a cover letter with an application. I always write one, as annoying as they are. I just draft a couple and switch some information depending on the role. Just goes to show how much of a dog and pony show they are. Do you read the cover letters? Of course, most applicants just do the minimum, and that is not what we are looking for in an employee. More effort and targeted interest makes us want to further the discussion. Hiring managers are completely swamped. Swamped is more than okay, that means that I can pick the best of the best. What positions are you hiring for that you prefer to get a cover letter? Targeted cover letters increases your odds of getting hired by me. All positions. What kinds of things do you like to see to show targeted interest? Do you read the cover letters? Toss them? Just a quick glance? Where I work, we don't even accept cover letters anymore. Nobody ever read them. I don't know who downvoted you, but that's just truth. Cover letters simply don't matter as much as they used to. And I'm not convinced they were ever that relevant in the first place. Facts. They don't matter at all. Just a way for the employer to make you start dancing to their tune. Always read the cover letter, and they are a big part of my decision to bring someone in for the first round or not. I'm in a professional position in learning and development, not sure if the role makes a difference here, but I'd probably not bring someone in if I didn't get a cover letter. If you apply for university of local government position that mentions it or requires it, then yes, it will be read and evaluated. If you're applying for an average private sector position, it may be used by the hiring manager, but most of the time it isn't, and probably isn't worth the effort. Recruiters rarely read cover letters. They're a waste of time. Employers with a stick up their ass will want you to provide one, but it is just a small process they put in to make sure you understand that you'll be dancing to their tune from now on. There's nothing in a cover letter you can't get from a CV or a phone interview. They're only the deciding factor if the hiring manager wants to waste everyone's time and pretend they are important. I try and get a feel for the company's goals and/or mission statement. I will then incorporate these into the cover letter. I'm a manager that has hired, and I've never even gotten a cover letter. I'm not sure if recruiting is just not sending them to me or none of my candidates have ever written one. I just get resumes passed to me. I've been in management at multiple companies too. I can't imagine there would be anything written in a cover letter that you couldn't highlight in your resume though, and feel like they're a waste of time. Could depend on field possibly too. I personally do not write cover letters when I go after jobs either. Most definitely, 99% of cover letters are just BS from a stencil that the candidate found from Googling cover letter samples or how to write a cover letter and actually tell very little, if anything, about the candidate that I can't see on their resume. In my 3 years working for ABC Industries as a junior sales exec, I developed a passion for serving my clients. I would be a great fit for your team at Def Industries because while studying for my bachelor's degree in marketing at GHI Uni, I learned a great deal about make a connection with a current employee through LinkedIn and ask for a few minutes of their time. If the conversation goes well, ask them to refer you. The employee will get a referral fee in some cases and you will have a better chance of getting a phone screen with the hiring manager if one of their current employees refers you. Cover letters are largely a waste of time for everyone, in my opinion. Recruiter in Sweden, if your resume looks good, I'll scan through the cover letter, but in 95% of the cases it won't add much to me. Usually I won't even look at it until the interview, depending on the position, not even then. Unless it is an important skill for the job to write well, your merits on the resume should be enough to get you through to an interview. Given that many of the other commenters here mention the cover letter as a way to explain career changes and employment gaps, is there another way such candidates cannot get filtered out? Asking because I'm trying to change careers after moving to Sweden, and am having limited success even with cover letters in Swedish. 100%. None of my clients in the tech space want them. Examples of past work go considerably farther. Personality/attitude are huge once you get in for an interview or a screening. Had a guy with great skills but a woe is me/I'm not going to change mentality which lost him the chance to move forward. At the company I work, the HR company strips them and I just get the resume.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.